Hey, kia ora, Helen Brahms here coming to you live from Sun City in Arizona. Hope you're having a super fantastic sparkling Serenity Sunday. Yes, that day of the week we get to sit back and go, and maybe do some planning for the upcoming week as well. Well, I got it already done. I got it completed on Friday because I knew this weekend was going to be busy with Media Magic. But for all the fun that I had, um, how did your Serenity Sunday go? What did you get to do today to relax, recharge, something out of the norm, um, something that just felt like a day off? What did you get to do today? Let us know in the comments below how you relaxed and recharged today. Did you get to go visit with family and friends, have a picnic? I believe there's still ski fields open, are there? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. I know some areas are experiencing some unusual warm temperatures for this time of the year as well. So I hope you've got to take advantage of all of that. I attended day 2 of the Media Magic workshop. It was awesome. We're concentrating on interviews today, how to give an interview and how to be interviewed, and talking about all of that. It was an incredible day. I learned a lot. Got to meet some great people as well. Um, and then we had our breakthrough zones. And of course, as you know, if you've watched me before, we don't talk about what went on in the breakthrough zone because it is confidential. But no, just let me tell you this: there was a lot of eye-opening stuff today. It was great, not just for the person who was on the hot seat, also for everybody watching as well. So yeah, it was good learning. There was some great learning lessons on the breakthrough zone today for everybody. So it was awesome. We got out of there early. I think it was something like around 1, just after 1 o'clock, I think it was. It was just after 1, just after 1. So then we had lunch. Um, then we hibernated into the. Let's see if he's trying to find a cooler spot on the floor. I'm not sure if that's possible on the vinyls F. Your bed has the cool pad on it. I get that. I'm not going on that cool pad look. Although she will put one cheek on there. Um, so yes, we had lunch and then we hibernated into the bedroom for the rest of the day because it was nice and cold in there. Well, not cold, it was still in the 80s, but it was definitely cooler than it was out here in the main living room area. And we turned the TV on there and watched The Longest Day. Being June 6th today, it is the 77th anniversary of the invasion at Normandy that started Operation Overlord. And otherwise, today's known as D-Day. But it was actually the beginning of Operation Overlord, which was quite a comprehensive plan. If you look on my Facebook page, there's actually a map there that shows you all the numbers of troops that were used, and then there's a link there that takes you to 10 things that you need to know about the invasion at Normandy and what happened in the preceding days and all that. And then there's links through to other articles that tells you things that happened in the days after the invasion at Normandy. But it's actually quite an eye-opener to see how many people were involved with that and the coordination that went on for that. It's mind-blowing. It really is. So on June 6th, I always watch The Longest Day. It is an almost 3-hour movie. I think it's like 2 hours and 48 minutes or 2 hours and 58 minutes. I totally forget. All I know is that it took me over 4 hours to watch it today because I fell asleep. And people are going to go, you did what? Okay, the movie came out in 1962, 2 hours and 58 minutes in length. Came out in 1962, and it had a who's who of Hollywood at that time as well. I mean, you had Eddie Albert. Who else was in there? Richard Burton was in there. Sean Connery was in there. Actually, you know how he's got that, because that was also the year that Dr. No came out as well. And he has that suave, that sort of little cheeky, suave attitude, and that sort of came through a little bit in the movie as well. He didn't get a big part in it. It was just one of those little bit parts, but it was quite entertaining just watching his little role. And yeah, so one of the funniest, I know it's on a serious subject, but one of the funniest ones that they had there was the amphibian vehicle, landing vehicle that Sean Connery was on. they opened the thing. He said, and of course he was like 6'2" or 6'3" or no, I think he might have actually been taller than that. I'm trying to remember how tall he was. He was over 6 foot. He was the tallest James Bond. Um, yeah, he was definitely the tallest James Bond. Um, and I think he still is, but he was like 6'2", 6'3", somewhere around there. And everybody else is like jumping off the tail end of this thing. He just stands there by the edge and just like steps over and almost like completely disappears under the water, um, in true Sean Connery fashion. And he just comes back up and carries on walking up the beach like nothing's happened. But then the bagpipes came out, and and there's this guy standing there knee deep in water playing the bagpipes as the amphibian vehicle's been offloaded. And I know it was to do with the Scottish troops and all of that, and I know that's how they go into battle. But every time they had the scene with that battalion walking along and everything else, there was this guy in the middle of the road walking along, and he had the commander of the battalion was with him, and they're walking along side by side, and this guy's just playing away on the bagpipes as they walk down the middle of the road in the middle of the country and all of this. It was, I thought it was quite amusing, and I thought somebody's going to pick him off at some point. And I've watched the movie many, many times, and so, but yeah, and then there was the guy that puts the German guy who puts his boots on the wrong feet. So those were just a couple of the light-hearted moments in a very serious movie. But I've always enjoyed watching The Longest Day, because I'm grateful for what took place that day and the lives that were sacrificed. There's just no way you can thank people like that for the roles that they played in that sort of operation. So it's actually a 2-hour, 58-minute movie, and it took me 4 hours to watch it because I fell asleep for a bit. Fortunately, I knew I was starting to fall asleep, so I actually turned the TV, hit it on pause and turned the TV off before I actually fell asleep for a little bit. And Ziffy's just sprawled out. She's been a trooper through all this heat, and I can't wait. We've got 4 sleeps to go until we get the solar screens installed on the outside of Sparkles, and I can't wait for those things to be installed and to enjoy some cooler temperatures inside the RV, because Sparkles has been overheating a lot, and I've got to be careful where I put things. I was up in my cupboard above the refrigerator the other day, and I was actually looking for a can of crushed pineapple, which I thought I had one left, but it wasn't up there. And I came across this bag of dried apricots. I was like, oh my gosh, I do have another bag of that. Awesome. I picked it up. That thing was hot. Not warm, hot. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And it was the sun beating on the passenger side over here, and it had heated up that cupboard up the top there. So now I've got to go through and see what's up there that could have been affected by the heat that I now have to throw out. And like the apricots, I was still like, there ain't no way I'm going to be eating these. So they had to get tossed. But I do have to get up there at some point and put some Reflectix at the back of the cupboard just to help cool it down in there a little bit. So I'm now looking around my RV going, okay, where can I put things like cans? Because I haven't been in these super hot temperatures before. I've been in the 90s, a couple of days here and there in the triple digits, but not consistently. This is a very different type of heat that I've experienced in Sparkles, especially with only one AC going. And with both ACs going, yes, those cabinets have gotten slightly warm, but not as hot as they have been getting up in there. So, I've got to be very careful about what I put where these days. So I'm figuring out how to reorganize the cupboards that I use, and what will I put in those cupboards, and maybe I'll just go along once the screens are done. I can then stop using the Reflectix. So I'll be able to take the Reflectix off the windows and use them to line the cabinets. I still have some Reflectix left over that's in the storage unit. But I can also use the Reflectix. Somebody else said, oh yeah, put them on the inside of the doors of the lockers as well. You can put them in there too, and you just cut out a hole in the middle where the thing is that's at the back of the handle, because the handle lifts up and there's a box on the back of the inside of the door for that you unscrew so that you can pull out the rods, so that you can then undo to remove the broken latches. There's a whole process on this. But I figured it out. I figured it out by myself how to do it, and I've already changed 4 latches now, and I've got 2 more to. I know I've got 2 more to replace, but I've got plenty of the latches up there because apparently they break quite often. And so when I was in one place, we've been looking for them for ages and ages and ages and ages. And I finally went into one of the RV supply stores that actually had had like about 8 or 9 of them for sale, and actually had them on the shelves. And I said, "Do you have any more?" And they said, "No, that's all we've got. Whatever's out on the floor is what we have." And so I took all 9 of them. At that time, I only needed to replace like 4 anyway, but I knew that others would break along the way. So yeah, we've successfully replaced 4 latches on the undercarriage lockers. And so now I just have to put the reflectix on the inside of those lockers, but cut out the piece where the back of the handle is, so that I can access that when I have to change the either change the handle out if that breaks, or I can change out the latches when they break. And it's quite a process. Doesn't take once I figured out what I was doing after the first one, the other 3 took less than 15 minutes to do. So the first one took me about 15 minutes to do, and then the other 3 took me 15 minutes to do collectively. You gotta work things out. You gotta figure things out and figure out what goes where and how and all of, and which way around the latches have to go and all that sort of stuff. So it's just part of RV living. It's finding those little things and figuring it out. So yeah, but 4 sleeps until we get the solar screens on, and I can't wait. So I'm looking forward to, and there's a couple of people with RVs around here who have the solar shields on their windows too, and they're talking about how they only have 1 AC running. It's consistently like 70 degrees in their RV. One guy says he goes to bed every night with one of those fur type blankets, one of those fluffy blankets on his bed because it's so cold inside. And I'm just all like, okay, if you're at 70 degrees, I would be sleeping with just a sheet on me. Not a blanket, just a sheet on top of me, because I like it colder than that before I put just even a light. And I only have a very light quilt on the bed with the sheet. So most nights when I've been going to bed in this heat, yes, we've gotten the inside down to 70, so I go into bed with the light quilt on, and it's a very, very thin quilt and a sheet. And I wake up like 3 o'clock in the morning, 3:30 in the morning, and I have no sheets, no blankets on me at all. I've just kicked them off because I got too hot. So yeah, I like the colder temperatures, so I'm looking forward to. But these other people that have the solar shade said it makes a big, big difference on the inside because it's a lot cooler. And one of the reasons it's cooler is because it's stopping the sun, the heat of the sun and the UV rays from getting through the windows into the RV. And the guy that was doing the shades, when he came to measure them, was telling me that with the reflectix, yes, it helps some, but the sun is still coming in through the glass and it's hitting that reflectix, so it's making like a little mini solar room between the glass and the reflectix, unless you've got it absolutely, totally and utterly flushed up against the window, which you can't do because it's ribbed. And so you're creating these little pockets of hot air on the other side of the windows. And he said with the solar shades, you put them on the outside of the windows, so therefore the sun can't get through the glass to heat up the RV. And I'm so like, okay, well that makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. I can understand that. So I'm looking forward to Thursday. 4 sleeps to go. Yay! And poor Zeffie won't be. I feel sorry for Zeffie. All that fur that she has to wear. But then she does have the bed in there that she goes and lays on, and I go in and she'll be either on her side or on her back with her stomach facing the fan that's on the vanity that's oscillating. And she's got and she lays directly below the 2 vents from the AC unit that go into the bedroom. So she's got the nice cold, she knows exactly where the cold spot is on the bed. And I've put the cooling pad on the end of the bed, but not in the spot that she normally lays. And I've been in there a few times now, and she'll be laying there with just her cheek on the cooling pad. Nothing else, just her cheek. And I thought, we're making progress. Maybe next time we'll get a little more on there. But we shall see, Anyway, I'm out of here. We've got to go for a walk and have some more watermelon. Oh, the watermelon was really, really good last night. It was really, really good. So anyway, have a super fantastic, sparkling rest of your Serenity Sunday. Go do something to relax this evening. Do your pre-planning for this week if you haven't done it already. And we will catch you guys bright and early tomorrow morning for Magic Monday. Oh, and if you're watching this on YouTube, please click the like button, hit the subscribe button, and if you want notifications whenever we put out new videos, please ring the little bell, check the little bell as well. Have a super fantastic sparkling evening, and we'll catch you guys tomorrow.